For more than 3 decades, Will Smith was one of the most trusted, admired, and bankable stars in the world. He wasn't just an actor, he was a symbol of success, positivity, and universal appeal. From blockbuster movies to family-friendly humor, from music to television, Will Smith built a career that seemed almost untouchable. He was the star who crossed generations, cultures, and continents without losing public trust. But then, in a matter of seconds, everything changed. One unexpected moment on the world's biggest stage turned admiration into shock, celebration into controversy, and a carefully built legacy into a global debate. This video explains how one moment didn't just interrupt Will Smith's career, it redefined it, exposing the immense pressure behind fame, masculinity, public image, and emotional control. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Stories like this go deeper than headlines, and understanding them requires context, not just clips. The making of a global icon. Will Smith's rise to fame was not accidental. He entered the entertainment industry with charisma, humor, and a rare ability to connect with audiences without alienating anyone. As a rapper, he achieved success with clean, playful music that stood out in an era dominated by harder sounds. When he transitioned to television with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he became a household name almost overnight. The show wasn't just entertaining, it humanized him, allowing audiences to watch him grow up in real time. As Will Smith moved into film, his star power only grew stronger. Movies like Independence Day, Men in Black, Bad Boys, and Pursuit of Happiness turned him into a box office guarantee. He wasn't known for scandal, controversy, or reckless behavior. Instead, he represented discipline, ambition, and emotional relatability. For years, Hollywood viewed him as one of the safest and most reliable stars, a rare position that very few actors ever reach. The pressure of perfection. Behind the smile, however, was pressure few people truly understood. Being America's favorite star meant never showing weakness, never losing control, and never stepping outside expectations. Will Smith built his brand on positivity, motivation, and emotional strength, but maintaining that image required constant self-regulation. Every interview, every public appearance, and every statement had to align with the version of Will Smith the world expected. Over time, this pressure accumulated. Fame doesn't just amplify success, it magnifies insecurity. Will Smith was not just an actor anymore, he was a role model, a husband, a father, and a symbol. And symbols are rarely allowed to be human. Emotional vulnerability, frustration, and personal struggles were expected to stay hidden behind charm and humor. The night that changed everything, the Oscars represented the peak of Will Smith's career. After decades in the industry, he was finally receiving recognition for his dramatic work, with a strong chance of winning Best Actor. It was supposed to be a night of validation, redemption, and celebration. Instead, it became one of the most shocking moments in live television history. When a joke was made at the expense of his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, something inside Will Smith snapped. In a moment that lasted only seconds, he walked onto the stage and struck the comedian. The room froze. The audience was confused. The internet exploded instantly. What followed was not just backlash, it was disbelief. The image of Will Smith, once known for composure and charm, was replaced with a single act that contradicted everything people thought they knew about him. The aftermath. Confusion, apologies, and consequences. The fallout was immediate and overwhelming. Social media erupted with opinions, jokes, outrage, and defense. Some viewed the act as unacceptable violence. Others saw it as a protective response fueled by years of emotional strain. The conversation went far beyond the incident itself, turning into debates about masculinity, mental health, boundaries, and public accountability. Will Smith issued apologies, both publicly and privately, yet apologies couldn't undo what had already happened. The Academy banned him from attending the Oscars for a decade. Projects were paused or canceled. Brands distanced themselves. For the first time in his career, Will Smith wasn't being celebrated. He was being scrutinized. How one moment overshadowed decades. What made this incident so powerful was not just the act itself, but the contrast. If this had happened to a celebrity already known for controversy, the reaction might have been different. But Will Smith's identity was built on control and likability. The moment shattered the illusion of invincibility that surrounded him. Decades of achievements were suddenly summarized by a few seconds of footage. This is the cruel reality of modern fame. Legacy can be eclipsed instantly. The internet doesn't remember careers, it remembers moments. The role of personal life and emotional weight. To understand what happened, it's impossible to ignore the personal challenges Will Smith faced leading up to that night. His marriage, often discussed publicly, had been under intense scrutiny. Vulnerability shared openly was later weaponized by public opinion. Jokes, memes, and commentary turned deeply personal matters into entertainment. That night wasn't just about one joke. It was about accumulated stress, unresolved emotions, and years of pressure finally finding release. This doesn't excuse the action, but it explains why one moment can hold the weight of many unspoken struggles. The industry's response: forgiveness or final judgment. Hollywood is an unforgiving place. While it celebrates redemption arcs, it also punishes unpredictability. Studios began questioning whether Will Smith was still a safe investment. His career didn't end, but it undeniably shifted. The question became not whether he was talented, that was never in doubt, but whether audiences were willing to separate the art from the moment. Some forgave quickly, others didn't. The divide remains. What this moment reveals about celebrity culture. This story is bigger than Will Smith. It exposes how society treats celebrities as characters rather than humans. We demand perfection, consume vulnerability, and then punish emotional failure. We celebrate authenticity until it makes us uncomfortable. Will Smith's moment became a mirror, reflecting how fame compresses decades of work into seconds of judgment. It showed how little room there is for public figures to break without consequences. Where Will Smith stands today. In the years since, Will Smith has stepped back, reflected publicly, and attempted to rebuild trust. He has spoken about accountability, growth, and self-awareness. Whether the public fully embraces his return remains uncertain, but his journey continues. His story is no longer just about success, it's about reckoning. One moment didn't erase Will Smith's career, but it permanently reshaped it. It reminded the world that even icons are human, and that fame doesn't protect against emotional breaking points. Sometimes, a single moment doesn't define who someone was, but it forces everyone to confront who they are. If this story made you rethink celebrity culture, public judgment, or the cost of fame, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. Do you believe one moment should define a lifetime, or should growth matter more? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.